Hi everyone, welcome back to Death is My Day Job. My name is Maria Gutierrez with Madrona Hospice and owner of Casa Serena. And today we are recording at Sonoma County Library. So we're back here in Santa Rosa. And today I have a very special guest on the show. I have Tracy Hinman here with me, and Tracy is with Allegre Home Care, and she is also a part of Section on Aging, a big part of Section on Aging and MERP here in Sonoma County, and also a part of the Home Care Association in Sonoma County as well. And I'm very excited to have her on the show today. So thank you, Tracy, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm very excited. So fun fact, I actually met Tracy a few years ago, I think maybe like 2 years ago, at my very first Section on Aging event when I first got into the senior world. And I recognized Tracy from an article in the Press Democrat about MERP. So I'm very excited to have you on the show. I think you are an incredible human being and an incredible resource for our senior community. So Tracy, if you want to let us know a little bit about you and how you got into senior care and everything. So spill it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. I got into senior care honestly because I needed a job. And my friend Charles Symes was the owner until just a few days ago of Allegre Home Care. And he asked me to come work for him. And I said, well, I don't know how to do that. And he said, well, I will teach you. So he trained me to be the kind of care manager that he wanted me to be. So I do care management for Alegre and also some of the marketing for Sonoma County area. So, and I've always felt like being a parent has been the greatest training for doing care management, just helping people live good, healthy, safe lives. That's what I've done as a parent, and that's what I do as a care manager.
Man, just really like that whole family dynamic, right? Because as a care manager, you're dealing with the families, the client, right? And kind of those other outside resources that you're going to use to kind of take care of your patient. Great. So then, Tracy, tell us about MERP. So I know a lot of people, on Nextdoor, I see a lot of questions on there about, maybe needing DME, so durable medical equipment, for those of you who don't know what that is. So it could be anything from a walker, maybe even a hospital bed. So what is MERP? How did you come up with it? What happened? Tell us, how did this start, this amazing program, and where do you guys service, and who's an ideal client?
So MERP started in Section on Aging. We're not really sure when, maybe 25 years ago. There's a few different origin stories. Sheila Almquist and Yvonne Baginski were both part of gathering medical equipment because they worked in senior industries. Section on Aging is the senior business networking group in Sonoma County, and that's been around since the last century, we think. So they would collect equipment and give it away, and to people in need and to other clients who worked through groups in Section on Aging. So it's been a very, very loose part of that. We had a room in a moving company, and that's where stuff was kept. It wasn't manned, it wasn't organized, it was just there. And then in about 2020, Kira Reginato, who owns Living Ideas for Elders, she was in our leadership group, and she said, why don't we get a real place, almost like a storefront, have it manned with volunteers and have it clean, and people can come there like they're shopping. And I remember saying, it'll never work. We're not going to find enough volunteers. We're not going to find a place that we can afford. But Kira did it anyway. Thankfully, she did not listen to me. And she found a moving company that was willing to rent us some shipping containers. She started getting volunteers, and we were open 1 day a week on Dutton Avenue at Mentors Moving and Storage. And then at some point after that, she handed over the position to me. We're all volunteers. It's just like, who has time to run this program? So after I took it over, I decided it would be a good idea to turn it into a 501c3, which I did. Greg Harder in Section on Aging was very helpful in helping me to make sure I read and understood how to do that. Learned a lot online. I did all the paperwork, started it as a 501c3, and we just kept getting more and more volunteers. And when we got Carrie Benefield from the Press Democrat to write about us, that was probably the best thing that ever happened to MERP, because more and more people from Sonoma County found out about the program. We were able to reach more people who needed the supplies that we have, and then more people who wanted to volunteer came to us.
That is such a great accomplishment, because you have no idea how much that program impacts people's lives. And not just in like Santa Rosa, you guys also have a location in Cloverdale, right?
Yeah, so that was one of my goals after becoming a 501c3, is I just wanted to try to reach more and more people. So our first expansion was, as soon as I had enough volunteers that I could split them up, we opened up a second day on our location at 3650 Standish Avenue. Thanks to the generosity of Child Parent Institute, we have shipping containers in their parking lot that we rent from them for a very, very low price. And we have volunteers every Monday and Wednesday, 11 to 1. Then the next expansion was we opened at Vine Ridge Assisted Living in Cloverdale, and they run out of one shipping container on their back parking lot. And then in January of this year, we opened the Guerneville location, which is hosted by the Russian River Senior Center. And we have a couple of little sheds in their back parking lot. So we have volunteers at all the locations serving 4 days a week. People can come and either bring us the equipment or supplies that they don't need anymore, or come and get what they need.
That is so amazing. And it's all those underserved areas. And I love that you guys are targeting that. Like, people think of Cloverdale, Geyserville, they're like, it's not rural. But as we know in this industry, you know, it's hard even getting like sometimes even caregivers or nurses to go out there. So something, you think of durable medical equipment as something like, oh, well, I can just buy some at CVS, but it's expensive. And a lot of the times, you know, sometimes insurance doesn't cover it. So just being able to have that in place is such a great impact on our community, especially the river areas. You know, I was working for West County Health Centers for a long time, and it's just, you know, those areas are rural. You know, it's hard to get out there, it's hard to get equipment. So I think the Guerneville expansion is just so amazing.
Yeah, it's a long drive from there to come back to Santa Rosa to get some briefs.
Yeah, because even like coming here to get care, you know, it's like a bus ride. Sometimes buses don't, you know, come out past certain hours. So I think, you know, just getting those resources out to those areas that are a little bit more rural it means that we're progressing towards the right, you know, the right direction. So thank you, Tracy, for, you know, doing that, or even like thinking of that. And a lot of that comes with a lot of community support, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, we have about 35 volunteers right now.
Oh my God.
There's on-site volunteers. There are people who are volunteer on the board and help with, you know, paperwork and applications and grant writing and decision making. And then we have volunteers who answer the phones. We answer phones 6 days a week just to try to get the information out there. And we have a few volunteers that can pick up items being donated.
Oh my gosh. So then if, let's say I was interested in volunteering, or I was interested in getting equipment, what's that process look like?
Well, if you want to get equipment, you come when we're open to one of our locations, Monday and Wednesday in Santa Rosa, 11 to 1, Thursday at the Russian River Senior Center from 10 to noon, and Fridays at Vine Ridge Assisted Living in Cloverdale from 11 to 3. So you come to one of our locations, you talk to the volunteers about what you need, and you can take what you need. Everything is technically free. If someone is in a position to leave a monetary donation, that's always appreciated. It helps us with some of our operating costs, none of which are payroll. We don't have payroll, but we have some space rent and just getting supplies and our advertising materials and website.
That's amazing. Yeah, for everyone that volunteers, I mean, that's such a great deed and a practical one, because I mean, people need this equipment. And is there like an age restriction? Do you have to be a senior? Can it be anybody maybe needing, you know, if they're out of surgery? Or
it can be anybody. You don't even have to have a financial need. Another part of the demographic of our customers are people who are happy to use used items and keep things out of the landfill. So if there's a perfectly good wheelchair or walker that, you know, isn't being used and still has life left in it, if someone else can use it, then they don't have to buy new and keep creating more garbage.
That's amazing. Oh my God. Well, that's very exciting. And I'm glad that, you know, we have something like that in this county. You know, just visiting other counties or, you know, even hearing about, you know, other states and their healthcare system. I think this is very important. You guys are making a great impact. Okay, Tracy, so then tell us about Section on Aging. So everyone knows we talk about it a lot on the podcast. You know, we talk about going to the mixers, talk about going to the meetings. So how did you get involved with that? I know you touched a little bit on it earlier, but what's helping you? Who's a part of it? What does that look like? What happens at these meetings and these mixers?
Section on Aging has been the greatest asset to our business networking in Sonoma County, for sure. When I first started with Alegre in 2014, Charles, the owner, said, you need to get on boards of groups. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, just start volunteering and keep volunteering and, you know, keep volunteering and doing work for this group until you get on the board. Find a position for yourself. So I've actually been on the board since I think 2015 in various different positions. And it's not really a board, it's a leadership team, because Section on Aging is just a club. It's not a nonprofit. On MERP, I am on the board. But Section on Aging is a club of businesses. We have over 100 members now, and all the businesses serve seniors in various aspects. There is a lot of home care and hospice, but also people in the financial sector and in real estate. There's move managers, movers, all types of businesses that serve seniors. So it's a great place for us to meet other people who can help our clients.
Oh yeah, and I feel like Section on Aging is like such a blessing, especially if you're maybe new to this role, to, you know, working in the senior world. It's such a great hub, because whenever I go, it's like sometimes there's new faces or there's like the same faces, but it's just a great way to connect with people if you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing, you know. So I remember when I first started in senior care, I was like, what's Section on Aging? Like, why do I want to go there? And then I got there and I was like, oh, like, I don't know, it was just like kind of like stars in my eyes. I was like, oh my God, like everybody that I would need in this industry is all in one room. And I think it's such a great resource, and people are so supportive there. You know, it's intimidating at first. You're like, oh my God, like they're in hospice too, or they're in home care too. But it's like people really come together with the same goal in mind, and that's helping our senior community. And, you know, like you were talking about, Tracy, being on boards and, you know, being kind of like, I feel like you're like the face of Section on Aging. Like, it's always like the same support group there. And I feel like that's why people respect you so much in this community, because you're just so involved, but your heart's really there. So I think, you know, Section on Aging is great. So if you guys are interested in joining or coming, when are the meetings and when?
Every third Wednesday of the month from about 8:30 a.m. we start mingling and have breakfast. 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. is the meeting with an educational speaker and networking activities. And then it's at the Finley Center on College and Stony Point. And then we have a mixer the first Thursday of each month, typically, and that is at rotating locations, which are updated on our website, sonomasoa.org.
Yeah, and then make sure you guys, if you are listening, follow them on Instagram, so then you can see maybe some past pictures of some mixers. We're actually we were at one just last week, so it was super fun. And it was hosted by Cindy Vine of Anchor Health and Hospice. So I always look forward to those. So it's a great way to, you know, we all work hard. Our jobs are not easy; they're stressful. So it's a great way to, you know, take care of yourself and just, you know, relax with your co-partners or your community partners here in Sonoma County. And then there's also one in Marin, right? So it's Sonoma County, then Marin Section on Aging.
They have their own Section on Aging that operates in a different way. We like to think ours is better. But we have worked hard on the leadership team over the last many years to really try to make the Sonoma County Section on Aging inclusive. the way we've structured the meetings, structured the networking activities, encouraging people to sit at different tables.
Yeah.
We try to make it easy for people to talk to new people there and meet others who can help them help their clients.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And I just love when I meet new industry partners, I always recommend Section. I'm like, listen, if you don't know anybody, you don't know what you're doing, just come to Section on Aging.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like a safe place.
It's great for education too. There's always educational speakers there. So you learn a lot about senior care or different things that affect various senior businesses.
Yeah. And then like also different disciplines. I love that there's like the financial part of the group too. It's like, well, a lot of people have questions about reverse mortgages, and it's like, why do I have to worry about that? But it's like, you know, when you're worried about long-term care or home care, it's like all that connects with each other. So very, very glad to be a part of that group. So now, Tracy, so for those that are listening and they're in the home care industry, tell us about your home care association, right? So you're a part of that. So what does that look like? Who can come? What happens? What is this?
So the Sonoma County Home Care Association is a group of licensed home care organizations. Alegre is a member, and Alegre is a part of the Marin Home Care Association, which we based our group on. So we just started, I think, about 3 years ago. And the goal is to get licensed home care agencies together to help educate the community on the benefits of licensed care and how there are protections for the seniors and also protections for the caregivers. So the caregivers all have to be paid appropriately according to state law. They have to be covered by appropriate insurances, and licensed care is the best way to make sure that everybody is safe in a home care situation.
Yeah, I think especially, you know, we go to a lot of like chamber mixers, and there's a lot of people that are interested in starting their own home cares, but there's a lot that goes into it. You know, you can't just pick up some caregivers and be like, oh, okay, we're going to start sending people out. There's a lot of liability because you have to remember you're going into people's homes, you're caring for others, and it's like, oh, what do you mean I need insurance? So it's very important to get educated on that.
Yeah, and you need a license. In California, you are legally supposed to have a license. Since 2016, home care agencies have been required to be licensed.
Oh gosh. So then for someone that had questions or, you know, maybe wanted to join, how would they find out? Do you guys have a website or what
We
happens?
do. It's SonomaCountyHCA.com. So all the member agencies are on there.
Okay, great, Tracy. So then, thank you for sharing with us. And then just kind of some, so so today is what, Friday? I don't know, you guys, it's probably like the 13th or the 14th today. It's Friday. I don't know what day it is.
Is it Friday the 13th? No,
maybe it's the 14th. It's probably the 14th. But so we just had the mixer.
Watch.
So then, the next section on aging
Friday the
meeting,
14th.
the 14th. I'll edit that out. No, I'm just kidding. So then the next section on aging, morning meeting is going to be
next week.
Okay, you guys, so for those of you listening, if you've been curious, you're new to the industry, maybe you're a returning, you know, community member, come to the meeting, check it out. I think it's definitely a great hub. Come meet Tracy, get an autograph. No, I'm just kidding. Come and meet Tracy, find out more about these great programs that are happening in Sonoma County. Again, you know, starting with the basics, getting, you know, equipment out to people. I think MERP is a great program, so come and find out, come and volunteer if you're able, have your business come and volunteer. It's a great way to meet people, a great way to build that trust in the community. Also some updates, so we are going to be having a mixer, so it'll be Casa Serena, Madrona Hospice, and Safe Care Solutions. That's going to be hosting along with the Rohnert Park Chamber on Wednesday, September the 23rd. So also if you are in the senior care community, you're new to it, come and meet some people. I think it's a great way, you know, Tracy, in our industry, networking is a big key to what we do. And again, we can't do anything by ourselves, so having a good support team is definitely a good way to stay, you know, up to date on things and stay connected with the communities. So Tracy, thank you so much for being on this show, and I will put all of the contact information for both Tracy for Allegre Home Care, and then for MERP, and then Section on Aging, and the Home Care Association on the bottom of this video. If you're listening on the podcast, I'll put it in the description as well. But yeah, thank you so much for being on.
Thank you for having me, Maria.
Of course, yeah, and I look forward to continue working with you in the senior care community.
Thank you. I do too.
Thank you guys for listening, and follow, like, and subscribe, please, so I can continue making these podcasts. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you so much.